2025. We have visionary leaders here. Youth Last Conference 2025. Positioning for global impact. Put your hands together for yourself and sit down. Thank you so much, Sir Victor, for the opportunity to be here today. Knowing you has been a lot of, growth. I love how you said, I love how you do, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. There are greater works from now. We're going to do greater things. Please, can we put your hands together for anyone today? I want to recognize the presence of his pastor, sir. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, sir, for being here today for him. God bless you, my very good friend. Thank you, ma, for being here today. So, I was asked to talk about leadership excellence for lasting and global impact. So, let's begin with the title of this event, which is the Last Conference. I want to let you know that people build, there are two kinds of people, and they build from different stages. Now, there are those who build from leverage, and there are those who build from scratch. So, those who build from leverage, they are born, they say, they are born, they go build spoon. They are built into, they are born into inheritance. They give birth to them, and they have the connections, they have the resources, they have access to things to make this work. They can easily just call on phone and things happen. Why there are people who build from scratch, like no inheritance, no connections, nobody to support them, but with the blessing of having a vision, the blessing of purpose, they are able to build from where they are, and they build to last. So if you are here today and you are building from leverage, beautiful. If you are building from leverage, you have already have access to resources, so it is easier for you. But to sustain that impact, or to sustain that you are building from leverage, you will need to build capacity. But if you are building from leverage, you have more work to do. You have a lot of work to do. And one of the key things that you need to do is to learn. And today, you are in this room. Put your hands together for yourself. So one of the things that you have to also do that you are building from scratch is that you must never neglect people who are also building from scratch. So that is why my blessing will come and say, Sir Emmanuel was in my first conference. Can come and say, I met Emmanuel somewhere. There are people I've left Futo, but there are people in Futo that they still refer to me. So that is because when you are building from scratch, you know what it takes to build from scratch. So you don't neglect people who are also building from what? From scratch. So build to last. So where are you building from? Before you can build to last, you must know where you are building from. If you know that you are building from scratch, then wasting time should not be what you should not be wasting time. If you are building from scratch, then you don't have to be neglecting people. True of us. So that is where we are. So the thing for the event is positioning for global impact. I want to say that sometimes we don't pursue our dreams, we position for them. Sometimes we don't just pursue things, we don't pursue our purpose, no, we position for them. I'm referring to the greatest book that has ever been written, the Bible. Jesus said in Matthew 5:14 that ye are the lights of the world, a city on a hill. He went further in that scripture, you read verse 15 and 16 that he said that men cannot put the light and put it under a bushel, and they cannot put this light now and then they put it under the chair. No, they put it where? On a candle stand, they position it so that to give light to everybody was in the room. So positioning is important for us to be able to maximize our destiny. Positioning is critical to destiny actualization. Positioning is important to visionary pursuits. And some of the key things that you are going to need to position yourself for global impact are some of the key things that I want to share with you today. So I was asked to talk about leadership excellence for lasting and global impact. So let's look at some keynotes on leadership excellence. Keynotes on leadership excellence. The first thing I want to say is that leadership is taking a group of people on a journey. Leadership is taking a group of people on a journey inspired by a vision of a better future. Leadership is taking a group of people on a journey inspired by a vision of a better future. So let's take it gradual. Leadership is what? Taking a group of people. So what it means is that if you don't have people that are coming behind you, if you don't have people that are following you, then you don't have what? Leadership. So leadership is a business of what? People. Like they say that if you are calling yourself a leader and you don't have people that are intentionally following you, then you are doing what? You're only taking a what? A walk. You're only taking a what? A walk. So leadership requires people. You must be able to love people. You must be able to have value for people. You must be able to place value on people. So leadership begins with taking people on a journey. Leadership is taking a group of people on a journey. So leadership is about movement. It's about what? Movement. You cannot say you are a leader if there is no journey to be taken. Leadership is about movement. That somebody meets you at this level, and the next 5 years they are saying that because I met this man, I'm now here. That is what? Leadership. That you need to attend a church and your life begins to do what? Begins to grow. So that is what leadership is. Leadership is taking people on a journey. If you want to start a vision, if you want to build to last, the first thing you must realize is that leadership is about taking a what? A journey. The next thing that inspired by what? A vision. So if there is no vision, there is no journey to be taken. If there is no vision of a better future, then there is no journey to do what? To be taken. Because leaders are people who can project into the future. Leaders are people who are in the future before others get there. So if you cannot project into the future, if you cannot see a vision of a better future, if you cannot see a better tomorrow for people, if you cannot see a better way of doing something, if you cannot see a better way of solving a problem, you cannot be able to take a journey of leadership. You cannot be able to take on a journey. In fact, you cannot be able to inspire and mobilize people without a vision. People can only follow you because there is a promise of a better future. Jesus told Peter, follow me, I will do what? I will make what? Bishop of men. So if there is no journey to take, if there is no journey to take, that people cannot follow you. Do you know that if a leader is not inspired by his vision, he cannot inspire others to follow him? So you must have a vision that is big enough to inspire you. If your vision is not big enough, people will not follow you. Because when you are small, when you are starting, when you are beginning from scratch, what people will follow is what is big about you, and that is your vision. People must be able to see, so because people like to work on something big. People love to be part of something big. That is why this hall is not filled up today. People love to follow what is big. But guess what? Anything that is big started small, true of us. Everything that is big started small. So you must be able to have a vision for your life, for where you are going. So leadership is taking a group of people on a journey inspired by a vision of a better future. The second keynote of leadership excellence is that leadership excellence is learning until you become an institution and executing until your results start speaking in places that matter. Leadership excellence is learning until you become an institution and executing until your results start speaking in places that matter. What it means is that you cannot separate leadership excellence from learning. You cannot separate leading from learning. If you want to lead, then you must learn. If you want to, if you keep learning, someday you do what? You will lead. Because leaders are perpetual seekers of knowledge. So if you keep learning, someday you will become an institution. What it means that you become an institution is that people will travel from different parts of the world to come and hear from you. They want to come and study what you have built. They want to come and study your systems, your processes, your strategies that you have able to build this for years. So if you want to become an institution, you have to learn. That's the one leadership excellence is about. It's about learning until you become an institution. That means you have to be invested in learning for you to be able to achieve leadership excellence. And then the second part is that you have to keep what? Executing until your results start speaking in places that matter. Until your results. Leadership is about what? Producing results. Mentorship is about reproduction. So you cannot mentor people until you have learned. Are we here? Yes, give to last conference 25. Are we here?
Yes, sir.
You are taking a flight, no. So let's join together. So leadership excellence is about producing results. Leadership is about results. Results brings relevance. If you don't have results, people cannot follow you. The greater your results, the more followership you can gain. So we have heard the life of Jesus here as he was going. People multitudes were following. Why? Because they were hearing of his what? Of his results. People can follow you when you have results. Production is the third level of leadership. Let me begin to follow you for your results. So leadership is about producing what? Results. And to be able to attain leadership excellence, you must be able to produce results consistently over time. When I started my journey in Futo in 2019, I got admitted to study in Futo in 2019, and I made up my mind that because of the kind of background I came from, where it's so difficult for someone to say I want to go to school. Is that when you're done with school, is that you join people who are in chase of money, or maybe you go and start somebody for 7 or 8 years, he settles you start your business, or you just live like that. But having somebody who come and says I want to go to school becomes really difficult. So it's a lot. So when I came to school, I made up my mind that I was not going to leave it with just a certificate. And it's really made me to be very, very intentional. I started attending events like this from my year one. I started volunteering for events from year one. I started building relationships from year one. So I started really from there. I started being so intentional about everything I do. I started being intentional about everything I do. Then the vision for leadership development now comes. I began to see that I have passion for developing people. I have passion for teaching. And then that was about the Shining Leaders Network International. Raising people who have passion for impact, who want to make a difference in society. And in 3 years, when I was still in school, I was getting recognitions, I was serving In fact, I'll go to some conference and people will start meeting me. I'm like, are you my Johnson? You know why? Because of the results that I have. So leadership is about producing results. Because if you don't want to produce results, you cannot build to last. What to make your organization, what you are willing to last, is that you have what? Results. So at any point in time, you must keep producing results. So let's move ahead. So leadership is about what? Leadership excellence is learning how to become an institution and executing until your results actually in places that matter. The next keynote on leadership excellence is that leadership excellence is a product of diligence and delayed gratification. Leadership excellence is a product of diligence and delayed gratification. You have to put in the work, because for you to be able to produce results, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. It takes diligence. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of investment of time. You may not have the money to start building your vision, but you have the what? You have the time. You have the talent. Those are the things you can do. You can start with. So it's a way to put in the work. See, people, I told you that people build from scratch and people from what? For leverage. Now, you cannot build something great without leverage. So what you do is that you build from scratch, you build leverage, and then you build to do what? Build from what? From what? Leverage. And one of the things that you build leverage with what? Is time. Is time. What do I mean by leverage? Leverage can be what? Access. So when I started in school here, I didn't have anybody to look up to. So when I attended the first ever conference I attended in Futo, public speaking master, I met somebody that said, my mentor today, we have been in the mentorship for like many years now, like 3 or 4 years now. Throughout my school days till now, I'm keeping out mentorship relationship. So when I met him, I started by volunteering for his I attended the first conference, and then the second edition I volunteered. Since then, I've been serving. So because I've been serving, I now have got the assets. So if I want to do something now, I have somebody that can do or that can give me guidance on how to go about it. Why? Because I use my time to do what? To serve and build what? Leverage. Like people who reach out to him and you will not be responsible. So write this down. The best time to know and meet great people is not when they are great, it's when they are growing. The best time to know and meet great people is not when they are great, it's when they are growing. That is the time. The time to know Victor is not when Victor becomes great tomorrow. It's not when Victor starts traveling the world, training for leadership. It's not when he's organizing conferences in different cities of the world. That's not when to know him. When to know him is not that he's building. It's not that he's growing. This is time to know him. This is time to know your friends. This is the time. So if you want to build to last, diligence and delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. There are things there are places that you don't want to do again. There are things that you don't want to do again. There are things that you have to invest time and resources doing the right things. So you have to delay gratification. You have to delay gratification. A farmer who does not understand the difference between a seed and a harvest will not sow for long. Will not sow for long. So if as a farmer you go and eat all your seed, the next thing you will not sow again, you will not sow. Are we here? Due to that, so that is it. You must know. So as you work, as you get some resources, know that this stage of your life, they are for building. They are for building. There were times in this school. There were times we organized conferences and went to deploy it. There are times that we paid money to travel to another state for a conference. Come comes back, and I know money, nothing. What books? You have to invest in books, you have to invest in knowledge, you have to invest in yourself. you cannot do that, you don't understand what we call delayed gratification. There's something that are not for all the clothes in this world. They are for your investment, they are for your personal development. So that is some keynotes for leadership excellence. So let's look at the keys for leadership excellence that positions you for global impact. Some of the keys for leadership excellence for global impact. The very first thing I have here is significance. Significance is the first thing that positions you for global impact. Significance. You see, there are 3 S in life. There are people who live for survival, making a living, the next food. Some people today, they are just living to make a living. They are nothing about their life status. They are nothing about their life that is not making a living. They want to just eat and just be alive. Survival. And you cannot build to that with a survival mentality. You can't. You cannot build to that just by just working to make a living. No. Because one of the things that survival mentality will do to that is make it selfish. You not be able to sacrifice. And you cannot be a builder if you're not going to sacrifice. Because builders think of the future. They are looking the future. A builder already has the plan, the blueprint. So you don't know what to do. He knows what to do at every time. So sacrifice must be made for that to be built. But someone that is someone that has a survival mentality is a short-term thinker, is a short-term planner. Someone that has survival mentality, what will happen if a very critical relationship, somebody is dating somebody and you have some issues, you know that you need this person in the next 5 years, but because that's small issue, you still have to swallow your mind and say sorry that you let go of the relationship because you are thinking now. So builders are people who can delay gratification. Are we here? So significance is important. So the second S in life is success. Sorry, so the first thing is survival, right? Second thing is success. The 3 S in life is survival. Second thing is success. People who live for success are people who live to add value to themselves alone. Everything about them is them. They are living for themselves. They are living to add value to their lives. The third S in life is significance, which I want to talk about, which is the first S of anybody that wants to make global impact. Significance. Significance is about making generational impact. Significance is about touching lives. Significance is about living beyond yourself. Significance is not just about you. We are not thinking about other people. You're not thinking about your generation. You're not thinking about generations to come. In significance, you have three key things. Significance is tied to 3 key things. Number 1 is purpose. Number 2 is impact. And number 3 is legacy. Any man who have risen to a level of significance, they have a purpose they are pursuing, they are making impact, and they are thinking what? Legacy. Purpose, impact, and legacy is what makes for significance. So my very good friend, I talked about purpose, we have learned about purpose, 2 of us. So I'm not going about purpose. I'll talk about impact. I'm talking about build to last, which is what? Legacy. Building something that outlives you. Now let's talk about impact. Living a life of impact is living to maximize time. Are we here? Build to last, friends. Living a life of impact is living to do what? Is living a life, is living to do what? To maximize what? Time. God has given you time. That's why it's called the duration of a man's life is called what? Lifetime, true of us. So it's called lifetime. So impact is time bound. You cannot make impact in the grave. You cannot start your impact project when you are no. Your impact can outlive you, but you have to make impact when you arrive for the impact to do what? To outlive you. So, because you are talking about building to last, I want to share with you the 7 practices of highly impactful leaders. 7 practices of highly impactful leaders. Leaders that are built to last, leaders that are impactful, leaders that achieve excellence, and leaders that are thinking significance. They have a purpose, they are pursuing, and they are making generational impact. The first key thing is that they are invested in their work with God. The first practice of highly impactful leaders is that they are invested in their work with God. Any man or woman who wants to make generational impact, who wants to have generational influence, must become a man that is invested in their work with God. How many of us know my scenario? My scenario died in 2013, but most of us knew how many years. Why? Because the man was living for impact. The man was invested in his work with God. You know that some my scenario, if you read some of my scenario books, you just know that you are not doing purpose without God. You just know that you can't do purpose without God. So they are invested in their work with God. Never take your relationship with God for granted. Because divine presence is your greatest asset in life. If you have divine presence, you have direction. As a builder, as someone who wants to build to last, you want to build something that will achieve you, you need God. You need God. Our Lord Jesus came to this world many thousand years ago. He lived for how many years? 3 years. But his influence, his influence is now and forever be. Why? Because when he was alive, you can see that he just had a good relationship with God, with his Father. So you are still here today, want to be to last. You are growing your capacity. You are learning. You have started the journey already. You know that you cannot be to that relationship with God. The second thing is that they elevate results over popularity and visibility. They elevate results over what? Popularity and visibility. They elevate results over what? Popularity and visibility. You see, I say that leadership is about what? Producing what? Results. So it's not about being popular, it's about having tangible results. Results are what makes relevant. You don't need to be popular to be relevant. Many popular people today are not relevant. In the actual days of life, many people who are on social media, who are thousands of followers, millions of followers, some people are not really relevant. If there's not what they are doing today, they what they are doing cannot have impact on many people. So relevance comes through what? Results. So you must prioritize results over popularity, over visibility. Because when visibility comes and you are not built your value, when visibility comes and you are not built depth, you cannot be able to maximize this kind of opportunities. You fall. Because visibility comes to a lot of things, a lot. So you go for mastery before what? Visibility. Go for results before visibility. The next thing that they create vision facilitating systems that change narratives. They create vision facilitating systems that do what? That change narratives. You cannot build to last without having systems that help you to create impact. You must become a system builder. You must become what? A system builder. You must become a system builder. Some of the things that you need to build a system. Number one is that you need a vision statement. You cannot build a system for something that you don't have written down. True or false? If you need to have a vision, you need to have what? A vision statement. Secondly, you need to have a mission statement. A vision statement talks about what your organization exists to do. Hello. Are we here? Due to last conference 25. So in the vision statement, every ministry that is doing global movement today, every organization that is doing well, they have a vision word statement. Secondly, a mission statement. A mission statement is how you achieve your vision. It's like what when you are what the thing that you do to achieve what your vision. There's a vision word statement. Next time you need core values. You need core values to build systems. Because when people come into your vision, they need to be guided. Hello, are we there? They need to be guided, they need to be groomed. It's your value system that will determine the kind of people that you allow into your system. Your value system, your core values are the things that will determine people that you associate with. Hello, are we here? So some core values, so you cannot build to last without having excellence as part of your core values. Because excellence is a universal language. You cannot build from scratch to global relevance without excellence. Excellence is what everybody understands in the global stage when you speak it. It's a language. So if you want to build to last, you need to have excellence as your core value from the beginning. When I came here and I saw this declaration, I was so happy. It's so beautiful. So excellence must be on the core value from scratch. The next thing that you need is that you need growth goals with systems. Growth goals talk about strategy. Where do you see this organization from? Where do you see the organization from 2 years from now, 3 years from now? There are goals that you need to do what? To build us. So anybody that is coming to your vision, we know that yes, I'm part of this system and this is what you are going to achieve. You must have short-term goals, or you must have what? Long-term goals. The next thing that you need to build a system is that you need team roles and responsibilities. Anybody that is coming to your vision to be part of the organization, they must have what they are doing. Hello? Are we here? They must have what they are doing. People should not come into your vision without a role to play. They must have a role to play. Team roles and responsibilities, because you cannot build a vision without teamwork, without synergy. You cannot build a vision without a team. You cannot build to that a team. Without a team, I'm rushing. Then you need what? After team roles and responsibilities, you need what? Leadership structure. Yes, you need a leadership structure for your organization. You know, who are the team leads? What departments are going to be heading? You need a leadership structure. That is why you cannot do purpose without developing leadership capacity. You need to go and invest in learning about leadership. You need to invest in learning about how to build leadership capacity. And I'm telling you like this is one of the ways. So you need leadership or structure to build what? A system. Then you need daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly operational approach. Daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly operational approach. That is what it means is that if your vision has to do with solving problems every day, what is the approach that you take to what is the operational approach that you take to solve that problem? So that anybody that comes into your vision can follow that approach. If you go to First Bank, the way First Bank operates is different from the way BTL Bank operates. They all have different approach because of the vision. That is why it started with vision statement. You must have a vision before you're able to build systems. Are we good? So the next key thing is that they fight to dominate. We are talking about 7 practices of high impact leaders. The first key thing is that they fight to dominate a niche or a location before moving to reach the world. You see, we are talking about positioning for global impact. you must fight to dominate somewhere first. You must fight to dominate the niche. You must fight to dominate a location before you now begin to go to cities. Before you now begin to go to places. That's why when Pastor was talking, he was talking about some ministry attended in school. Before they now, after they started building for different campuses. From different campuses, they started going to cities. So you must fight to dominate somewhere. A niche, you must find a particular niche for yourself. Dominate it then before you now begin to move to reach the world. The fifth thing is that they measure success by what they give, not by what they get. Highly impactful leaders, they measure success by what they give, not by what they get. You must have a value addition mentality. If you are going into relationships, if you are going into your vision, you must think about how do I add value to people? How do I add value to this community? What can I contribute to humanity? That is what matters. Because life is not about the amount of grace you give. It's not about donation. It's about donation. It's about impact. Are we here? So they measure success by what they give, not by what they get. The sixth thing that highly impactful that they practice is that they think possibilities and they dare big projects. They think possibilities and they dare big projects. If you want to be a highly impactful leader, you must come out to think big. That we are starting here does not mean we end there. When I started my journey as a leadership coach, I started in a classroom as a teacher. When I was teaching, I would call my fellow teachers, there are young people there, they left school, so we had school leaders were teaching there. I call them together in my classroom. I will talk about self-development. I will invite someone from church and the person come and speak to them. From my classroom, I organized my first paper event in Port Harcourt. I called my mentor, Stephen to come and speak in Port Harcourt. And I did it in my church. I did my church venue for the next edition. The last edition, last year it was held in Sub Theatre and it was success. So you can start anywhere. People who are visionary are people who are willing to start small. You get? So they think big, they think possibilities, and they dare big words, projects. The last thing that they sacrifice and invest in training and raising the next generation of leaders. They sacrifice and invest in training and raising the next generation of leaders. You see, you have to invest in developing leaders if you want to leave a legacy. You have to invest in developing what? Leaders who, if you want to do what? If you want to leave a legacy. You hear of people like my tomorrow today. Why? Because they have people who keep referring to them because of their what? Their impact. My question for you today is, if you leave Futo, who will keep referring to you? In the next 5 years, who can refer to you that yes, my life has a trajectory of growth because I met this one, I met this person. So building to last requires you to sacrifice because investing in people requires sacrifice. And you cannot say you want to become a legacy leader without thinking about where you are born, who will remember you. No. So you sacrifice and invest in building relationships. So those are the first thing for impact, significance. The second thing that you need for leadership excellence is that you need service. You need what? Service. You need service. You cannot attain leadership excellence without service because leadership is what? Service. Leadership is service. Service is one thing that can make you great in life. Without service, you cannot transform your gifts into a platform. You cannot transform your gifts into a brand without service. Service is what gives you visibility. Service is what brings you before great men. Service is what opens doors of opportunities for you. Service is key. How do you serve? Be useful to people's vision. Be useful to people's vision. Why am I here today? It's because Sir Victor is part of my vision. He used to my vision. Hello, I'm here. So you have to be able to lose vision. Because when you are able to lose vision, you learn, you build what? Capacity. You build relevance, you expand your networks. You build relationships. So service is important. Secondly, be committed to your vision. Impact begins with a seed, and that seed is called what? Vision. Impact begins with a seed, that is called vision. You cannot say you want to build to last without a vision. You cannot say you want to impact the world without a vision. You cannot say you want to keep a legacy without a vision. Impact begins with a seed, and that seed is called vision. Every seed will require what? A servant. You see this tree here. Before this tree grew up to this stage, it was a seed. And it needed somebody to keep watering it. It needed somebody to keep nurturing it. For it to now become a what? A tree that bears what? Fruit. So without service, you cannot build your vision. Without service, you cannot nurture your talents for impact. So service is key. Be committed to your vision. You have to be invested in your vision. You have to be invested. You have to pursue your vision by investing in your self-development. The next thing you want to serve is that join a non-profit organization and serve. Service, talking about service. Join a non-profit organization and serve. I was opportunity to serve as the president of JCI Nigeria Football. That JCI Not Cheaper International. As the president before I left to, and did a lot of things. We achieved a lot. So, and it opened me to opportunities. It opened me to relationships that is helping my vision today. It gave me relevance. So, if you can join an organization, and then if you cannot join any organization, serve in your church, serve in your fellowship. Be committed in God's house, because you cannot do leadership without service. You cannot build to last without service. You cannot build to last without service. The next key thing is that the next key thing is strategic relationships. Leadership excellence. The next key thing, the first thing I say is what? Significant. The second thing I say is what? Is what? Service, right? The third thing is what? Strategic what? Relationships. Strategic relationships. There are 5 kinds of relationships that you need for your vision to come to alive. For your vision to come alive. Number 1 is purposeful friendships. Purposeful friendships. Now, when I was in school, there are 3 kinds of friends I said I was going to make. Number 1 are kingdom building friends. These are friends that bring you closer to God. You need to have some friends that are in school now. This is your beauty phase. You need friends like that. You need academic building friends that push you to academic success. You need purpose and value driven friends. Friends that have purpose. Friends that have value that you can add to your life. You need them. The second kind of relationship that you need is mentorship. If you want to achieve leadership excellence, you need mentorship. You need mentorship. Mentorship and leadership goes hand in hand. If you want to mentor, you have to lead. And if you lead well, you become a what? A mentor. Are we here? So mentorship is important. You need somebody who you can learn from their pain, who you can learn from their process, and who you can learn from their success. It is very, very important. Mentorship and the board of mentorship, most of us that I have today, they came through mentorship. It's the third kind of relationship that you need is you need a spiritual covering over your life. You need a what? A spiritual covering over your life. You need to go to church. You need to attend the church. You need to have a pastor for your life. I'm so happy when you say that you know that this pastor is sent to you. You need to have a spiritual covering over your life. Someone that speaks to your life. Someone that is there to guide you with wisdom. The next kind of relationship that you need was covenant of marriage. If you want to be purpose, and you want to be to last. Some persons are building well now, but some get married and then the building collapses. So if you are getting married, you must marry somebody that does what that builds with you, someone that has the same mindset and same values that can help you to build your vision. The fifth kind of relationship I want to talk about today is industry connections. People that are in that field that you're doing, you have to connect with them. You are into public speaking, you are into fashion designing, you need people in that niche. So go for industry connections. Go for industry connections. They are very, very important. The fourth key thing and the last thing I want to say today on the things that you need to build to last is that you need self-development. You cannot attain leadership excellence without self-development. You can't. You need to develop yourself. You must be committed to self-development for many years. You have to keep investing yourself to stay relevant as a leader. What are the things you can do? You can build a personal library for yourself as a leader, as someone who wants to achieve leadership excellence. You cannot do without building a personal library. You need to have a personal library that you read from. So investing in books is a non-negotiable for leaders. Investing in knowledge. Investing in learning is important. Every day of your life must be a day to learn. You must travel for exposure, education, and experience. Travel is part of learning. If you want to be a leader that positions for global impact, you have to travel. You have to travel. You cannot position for global impact if you're not willing to travel. You have to travel. One of the best experiences I've had in my leadership journey was having a 4 days retreat in Calabar, where we had to visit Slave History Museum, Twin Island. We had to do some tour in Calabar State, in Calabar, and we are also learning and visiting. That experience was one of the best experiences I've ever had as a leader. So you have to travel, you have to learn, you have to invest in taking leadership courses. One of the courses that helps me to learn about what it takes to go into global leadership was signing up for Moni Global Leadership School. It's something that I need to go and take a course with them. Moni Global Leadership School. In that class, when I took that course, I was a class captain and I had people from different parts of the world. We had people of Uganda, UK, like different people, and I was class captain. It gave me the opportunity to be able to relate to people that are from different parts of the world. And what they are learning that they will teach you about the SDGs, they will teach you about what it takes to build a business, they will teach you about impact. So you have to invest in courses. Invest in taking courses online that can position you for global relevance. And we need to keep doing it because you cannot stay relevant if you don't keep investing in yourself. You cannot stay relevant if you don't keep investing in yourself. I will end by saying that, by quoting myself, something I always say. There's something I always say. I always tell my people, if you want to build an institution, if you want to build something that lasts and something that fits you, you must never stop building. Are we here? What did I say? If you want to build something that lasts and outlive you, you must never stop building. You must never stop what? The only reason why you build to last is that you never stop building it. So you have to keep building. You have to keep building. And to keep building, you must do two things. You must keep becoming and you must keep betting. To keep building, you must keep doing what? You must keep becoming. That means you must never come to a point where you arrive at personal transformation. You must never come to a point where you are magnetic about complacency. You must never come, no matter how much success you have, you must never come to a point where you think you are going to talk or where you have arrived. So you must keep becoming. You must keep learning. There is a version of you that can make global impact. There is a version of you that cannot make global impact. This version of you that cannot make global impact. This version of you cannot make global impact. I need to keep doing what? I need to keep becoming. And then I need to keep betting. I need to keep betting my visions. I need to keep betting new leaders. I need to keep betting new products. I need to keep betting new solutions that stop for people. There is something new that's coming from me every single year. So that is how you keep building. Thank you so much. I know you managers. God bless you.